I didn't know I was a doormat until I was in my second marriage and the relationship started looking the same. If my husband would come home kind of grumpy, I would think a couple things. One, he doesn't really have the right to be grumpy because look at all these wonderful things that I've done for you. Two, you must not appreciate me because if you appreciated me, you'd come home and be so happy about all these things I've done. And three, I must not be good enough. I must have not done it right, and I'll do better tomorrow. Eventually, I complained to a coworker enough that she recommended I read a book called Why Men Love Bitches. I was kind of put off by the title because I don't want to be a bitch. I want to be kind and selfless and, a very giving, loving partner, but I dared to read it. And it gave me a voice, and this is what happened.
The 2002 book is still widely regarded as a must-read for women looking for help in their romantic lives. And if Marcella's story is anything to go by, its advice clearly does still hold up 20 years later.
First time I implemented this book, I had come home from a long day at work and I was making dinner. I wanted noodles, but I knew that my husband would have preferred rice. But I made the noodles because that's what I wanted and he wasn't home yet. I made the noodles. He gets home late. He sits down, says, I think this would have gone better with rice, don't you think?
Marcella took the plunge and decided to put the new theory she'd learned into practice.
And instead of being offended, instead of thinking that I had done something wrong, I was like, you know what? I just felt like noodles, so I made the noodles, but you're welcome to make yourself some rice.
This was completely out of character for her, and she didn't know how her husband would react.
This was so far from how I had shown up in the relationship. I think he didn't know really what to do with it. He was like, why aren't you getting up to make me some rice? And I just sat there happily, not resentful, not bitter, just enjoying my noodles. I made myself sit there and enjoy my dinner while he got himself up, made rice. He ended up burning the rice, being super frustrated, which was a test to me to not run in and fix it. He's a big boy, I'm not his mom. And he could happily just eat the noodles. But that was the first night that my marriage had two whole people participating in that marriage. And now I am a full participant in my marriage.
Such a simple act has completely changed the dynamic of their marriage for the better.
If your marriage is not working, it's probably because you are not a full participant and now you have a marriage that you're expecting to function like two humans, but one of you is actually missing.
Marcella's video has struck a chord with viewers and has received almost 4,000 comments. From people sharing their own experiences, such as, I'm such a people pleaser, but during the pandemic, I decided to actually work on saying no and do what I want. It's so much better. And one person said, it's when you start putting yourself first that everything changes. Preach. Marcella's story is so helpful for people struggling to feel equal in their relationships. As always, thanks for watching Ultimate.